This is Dragon Ball Z, my very first introduction to the world of anime. And this is my cousin Dujon. I watched Dragon Ball at his house.
Sick! I didn't even know you had the merch.
I've got probably about 5 or 6 t-shirts.
What?
There's just something about it. Dragon Ball Z to me is like the gateway to manga and anime.
But this is also Dragon Ball Z.
The first time I ever saw Mr. Popo, I remember just thinking, well, why did he look like that? I think that was actually my first introduction to what Oliver was.
And this is quite a common portrayal of black people in anime. And yet, anime has a big black fan base.
A lot of people seem to kind of think that racism doesn't exist in Japan, and of course that's not true.
To be a fan is to be cheering in one scene and like hiding your head the next.
First of all, let's get something straight. I'm definitely not here to cancel anime. But as a black fan, I am here to say enough with the racism.
One of my favorite anime shows is Durarara, but the Black Russian is a problem. For the love of God, redraw him.
Sister Crone in Promised Neverland, they lean on that minstrel look, huge lips, bulging eyes, and it's disgusting, and it hurts because it's so glaring that it is anti-black, that it almost ruins the entire thing for me.
And even One Punch Man has Black Luster, who aka Super Alloy Darkshine. I mean, it is very racist. And it's funny because I was getting into the show and I was like, I just said, okay, we're going to ignore that episode. But unfortunately, that's something that black folks again and again have to do. If we want to be fans of something and we don't want to cancel the entire genre, we have to pick and choose our fights.
So the first movie I want to discuss as being racist and basically excluding any kind of other races while at the same time almost worshiping the Caucasian race is the movie called Metropolis. It is the Japanese animation film in 2001. And it is based on a manga or comic that it is also about Metropolis. It's, I believe, a 1949 comic, but it's also based very loosely on the silent movie from 1929, the German silent movie named the same, named Metropolis. And there, the main character is a robot that was created by a very wealthy and influential businessman as a replacement for his daughter that he lost somehow. I forget how it was it, but it was a tragic loss, and he wanted to very much replicate his daughter, and he basically did this as a robot with the help of a scientist. And again, the movie has got a diverse set of characters. It is not necessarily based in Japan. And lo and behold, guess what race and features this main character holds? And the main character is basically very much highlighted. It glows. The child's features are very much displayed and appreciated. And it is very much a feature of the film to notice the way of the hair, the flowing, glowing hair of the character, which is light blonde, the very light and glittery and shining eyes, which are blue. And this is all, again, made by a Japanese artist for presumably a primarily Japanese audience. And of course, the film is of international quality. It did make international success. It did rank as one of the best Japanese animation films. But yet, the film is basically a racist and excluding film because there are no brown or people of color in the film. Out of the many characters that were depicted in the film, zero, because I've seen the movie several times, zero were of diverse background when it comes to skin color, and they were all light skin, and very many of them were of light hair, light eyes. And again, if there were any characters, robot or human, that were depicted with darker skin, which none of them were very dark, but the darker skinned individuals were always evil, were always lowly, were always replaceable or expendable, and that is an indicator of racist mentality. That is basically a feature of the film. Another media that I want to bring up as being quite racist, that is of Japanese origin, is the Ninja Gaiden series. It is a game, but the game itself has a lot of cutscenes, basically animated movies, and the jewel of the game is basically a Caucasian, a very European looking female, very bodacious and voluptuous female that is clearly being held up on a pedestal as a prized and very wanted individual. And lo and behold, this person is of very European looks. Again, blonde hair, blue eyes, very small nose and mouth, and again of very curvy proportions. And that same theme goes throughout the series. The Ninja Gaiden series goes back to, I believe, the mid-80s. It's quite long-winded, and of course it's of Japanese origin. It is a ninja that is presumably of Japanese origin, which of course also is of Caucasian features. Again, with the light skin, light hair, and blue eyes, which is very curious for a ninja to have such features. And I mean, the list goes on. The list is long, talking about perhaps hundreds of films and games that you can name, perhaps more than that, that have these racist and exclusionary mentality, behavior. They have basically all the signs of being discriminatory and racist. The Super Mario Brothers, the entire series, whether it's games, movies, comic books, cartoons, whatever else there is, you name it, they have the same exclusionary, racist, and discriminatory policy, and basicly the same is repeated throughout the series without any exception, almost any exception. I have not seen the first exception to this, where only light-skinned, Caucasian-looking characters are displayed, are propped up, are highlighted, are well displayed and prominently put front and center and celebrated in every scene, every step. And this is without exception throughout the series. Look it up. With this knowledge, notice it, and you will see how blatantly consistent this is. I mean, it is almost to the point where it is vomit-inducing, that racism and exclusion from the Super Mario Brothers, anything that they have put out. Another one is Sonic the Hedgehog, another character with Caucasian features, also of Japanese origin. The Ghost in the Shell movies, very racist, with the main character as being, Japanese speaking, Japanese origin, yet she has blue eyes and very, very light skin. The main characters, basically all of the characters from Appleseed,